we've been seeing some really things that are that could be worrisome, but are we in an AI bubble? Is this similar
And
to the
that is the big
.com crash
question.
and boom?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's really, could be scary. I would say we've been around the block a few times, but we've lived through that .com crash and seen its direct impact on companies and businesses. And now seeing these parallels, I think it's something we had to explore.
There's been some new research that we've been seeing, but before I jump into even that, we started Impact during that .com boom and bust. And I remember everybody wanting to have a website that was a Craigslist slash MySpace slash whatever, and give me a clone of this or that. And I remember just like the hype around that. And now it's really understanding, are you going to be the AOL or the Netscape, or are you going to be the Google or the Apple that comes out ahead of all this? And this is probably what we're seeing right now. If you added a .com to your name, all of a sudden your valuation just jumps 25, 50%, whatever, just because you did that. Feels like similar here, where if you add any type of .ai or you add AI into your system, all of a sudden it's worth millions. And
Agreed.
Your salaries and all these expectations, it just seems very frothy right now because of that.
And it's the hype. I mean, if we dive into a bit of the history for those that kind of weren't aware of the .com crash, you rewind back to the late 90s, and the internet was crazy. It was new, it was exciting, it was seen as the next industrial revolution. Most people, including the investors, didn't necessarily even have a clue about what the internet was or how it worked. And it was really just, they wanted to be a part of this. They knew it was exploding and there were going to be winners and losers. I don't think anyone saw that it was going to burst, and there were going to be losses that would be felt as much as that. So there was this weird sort of irrational investor enthusiasm that was very much built on the hype and the momentum of that. I think sort of companies going public with no revenue or business models, with just riding on the promise of the internet alone. And I think it was 2000, right, Makoto, that I think it really hit.
It basically jumped from 1,000 to 5,000, the NASDAQ, within like the 1995 to 2000, or like 1998 to 2000 is how long it lasted. And then it dropped off a cliff. Like it fell over 75%, the NASDAQ, and it was a bear market for the next 2 years.
And that was billions of dollars just disappeared, just evaporated in that crash, which is pretty scary, especially that many, businesses were pretty burnt.
They're heavily invested into it.
Exactly. And whether I think you're mentioning, you either came, like with the AI, you come out of it, stronger, or you fail altogether. But it's not just that, it's the impact on businesses that, may not even be fully integrated in tech. Like we saw in that .com crash, you had things like fashion retailers or just retailers in general using storefronts, like the Yahoo storefront that fell flat, or the Boo.com company, which, so many retailers integrated into their platforms and spent a lot of money on technology, and that all fell flat as well.
Yeah.
What we did see coming out of it was sort of rising from the ashes with these big companies like Amazon and Google, because they sort of paired that long-term vision with real value and execution. They understood the value that the internet could offer, not in 2000 necessarily, but as we moved into 2010, 2020, and the growth of this new sort of frontier, I guess.
I'm curious, in video games, cheat codes let you skip months of grinding to unlock special abilities instantly. Have you ever wished for something similar for your software challenges? What if there's a way to instantly access 20 plus years of specialized expertise instead of developing it all internally? What if you could solve in weeks what might otherwise take months or years? Would you agree that most organizations face a steep learning curve when implementing new software solutions? At my company Impact, we serve as that cheat code for companies looking to transform complex software into intuitive experiences that users love and that drive real business results. Would it be valuable to explore? And how might this work for your specific situation? Visit impact.io for a free strategy session focused on your unique challenges.